After I bought a house with my own money, saved over 13 years, my parents claimed I owe them $300K for raising me and tried to give it to my sister. Yeah, I know how insane that sounds, but that's exactly what happened. At first, I honestly thought they were joking, but no, they were completely serious. I didn't get a lawyer. I walked into that courtroom completely alone, ready to defend myself. No legal backup, no support, just me. But when I laid out the truth behind their twisted little plan, the entire room went dead silent. Just like that, their case crumbled, like popping a soap bubble. I'm the oldest kid in the family. I started busting my ass at 16, delivering pizzas, lifting heavy boxes, scrubbing dishes, anything I could do to stay afloat. And now, just as I'm finally pulling myself out of the pit of poverty, they come after me like I'm the bad guy. It still feels surreal, honestly. But what came after that? You're not going to believe it either. By 18, I was financially on my own. While my high school friends were hyped for prom, I was working every shift I could, saving tip by tip from delivery jobs just to buy my first car. An old 1998 Honda with over 200K miles, which I scored for $800. I went to community college full-time while working full-time too. Later, I joined a coding bootcamp and hustled non-stop for my certifications. Eventually, I made it into cybersecurity, and I've been grinding in the field for the past 8 years straight. Meanwhile, there's Melissa, my sister, the family's golden child. She's 32 now. Melissa got the 5-star treatment. Private college with full funding from our parents, 2 semesters in Europe, a master's degree in art history. They paid for it all: tuition, rent, travel money, and fancy spring break vacations. Oh, and when she turned 16, they handed her the keys to a brand new car. Me? I've never taken a proper vacation. No brands, no parties. I spent nearly 10 years living with roommates to make ends meet. Only last year did I finally move into my own place. And just last month, after years of saving, I bought my first home. 3 beds, 2 baths, a cozy backyard where I could finally plant some vegetables. The place cost $385,000. I put down a full 20%. That's $77,000 from my own savings. No help. No loans, no handouts. I was genuinely proud of myself. But 2 days after I got the keys, I got a text from my dad. "We need to talk about the house. Call me ASAP." I figured maybe he wanted to swing by and check it out. But man, I had no clue what was coming. We hopped on a video call, and he gave me this slow, serious look. He goes, "We talked it over as a family, and we think it'd be more fair if Melissa had the house." I just stared at him. Like, what? He said, "She's drowning in student loans, sweetheart. Rent's killing her. You're doing well. You could always buy another one." I actually laughed at first, thinking he must be joking. But no, he meant every word. Then my mum jumped in with a call of her own. She said, "We raised you, supported you. Now it's your turn to give back to the family. Your sister needs stability. You're in a position to help. Don't be selfish." I didn't even know how to respond. My chest felt tight. 8 years. 8 years of grinding, saving, sacrificing. And now they expected me to hand it all over because she needed it more. I tried to keep calm, but when my dad started yelling that I had some kind of moral obligation, I had to hang up. Not because I wanted to be rude, but because if I kept listening, I knew I might say something I couldn't take back. 1 week later, I got served. They were suing me for my own house. The claim that I owed them $300,000 in child-rearing expenses. Apparently, Melissa deserved the house because of her debt, and I could afford to get another place. They even argued that, as my parents, they were emotionally invested in my success, so they had a right to redistribute family assets. And get this, they didn't just want the house transferred to Melissa. They expected me to keep paying the mortgage for 2 whole years until she could take over. Stay away from me. Get up. That part still echoes in my head. 3-week update. Oh my God. This post exploded. Thank you. Seriously, thank you to everyone who commented. Reading your messages kept me grounded while I was drowning in this insanity. So here's what's happened since then. I decided to go to court alone, represent myself. I know. Everyone warned me it was a terrible idea, but hiring an attorney would have set me back at least $10,000, and the whole case was just so absurd, I thought I could handle it. I've always been decent at research and paperwork, and then I uncovered something wild. Turns out my dad's sister, my aunt, is bankrolling the whole lawsuit. She's held a grudge ever since I didn't invite her to my community college graduation. Thing is, I didn't even have a ceremony. I didn't walk. It just didn't feel like a big deal for an associate's degree. But she took it personally. Now she's been spreading rumors across the family, saying I'm ungrateful, that I think I'm better than everyone, just because I work in tech. Meanwhile, Melissa's out here posting on social media like she already owns the place. She's literally reposting Pinterest photos of houses with captions like, "Can't wait to turn this into our home. So grateful to my parents for fighting for what's right. Hun family first." Unreal. My parents even tried dragging my grandparents into this mess, hoping they'd back them up. Grandpa shut it down instantly. He told them flat out to stop being ridiculous. Grandma was more gentle about it, but even she told them they were out of line. The first court date is in 2 months. The system's backed up right now. So for now, I'm preparing like hell. I pulled together everything: bank statements, mortgage papers, down payment receipts, employment history, the works. Then their lawyer reached out. Total sleazeball, the kind of guy my aunt probably yanked off a billboard. He came with a settlement offer. They wanted the house signed over to Melissa. I'd still be stuck paying off the mortgage for 2 years. Oh, and they wanted me to fork over $100,000 in emotional damages and write a formal apology for breaking up the family. I actually laughed out loud, like a real laugh, snort and everything. Then I hung up, but the drama, it didn't slow down. My mum went full Facebook warrior. She posted, "Some children forget where they came from. We gave him our name, our love, our values, and this is how he repays us. His sister has student loans and no home. A good son would help his family." Disappointed. Family values. My aunt chimed in with a comment, "Shameful behavior. Your sister needs that house more than you need your selfishness." Then came the group text from my mum. "Due to recent events and my name's decision to harm his sister's future, he is no longer welcome at family gatherings until he chooses to do the right thing." Yeah, so I ordered some Chinese, turned on football, and had a great night. Update 2. Court date, 2 months after the last post. Just got back, and you're not going to believe this circus. I arrived early, dressed sharp, folder full of evidence in hand. Then they showed up, my parents, Melissa and my aunt, all wearing matching t-shirts. I kid you not, giant letters across the chest. Family comes first. It got chaotic the moment the door shut. Melissa rushed over with tears in her eyes like we were in a soap opera. She tried to hug me and said, "I forgive you for pushing things this far." I stepped back without a word. She kind of stumbled forward, arms hanging awkwardly like she expected a movie moment or something. My aunt started hissing little insults from the back row, quiet but sharp enough to slice through steel. The judge slammed the gavel and called the room to order. Their lawyer, clearly embarrassed to be there, stood up and started. "Your Honor, my clients are loving parents who have invested emotionally and financially in raising the defendant." He went on about Melissa's debt, her unstable housing situation. Meanwhile, I'd saved for 8 years and bought a house, all on my own. I stood calmly and said, "Your Honor, I'm the only person on that mortgage. I paid for everything with my own money." The room went still. Then came the theatrics. They brought in baby pictures like it was evidence. Melissa's student loan summary, $180K for art history, a spreadsheet of childhood meals, including a $12.99 Happy Meal from 2003, a screenshot of a text where I said "love you all." Apparently that was proof I owed them something. They even printed out my LinkedIn profile showing I work in cybersecurity. Melissa, with zero shame, presented some vision plan to turn the house into an artist retreat, despite never making a single cent from her art. When it was my turn, I gave the judge bank statements proving every dollar I used was mine. I brought mortgage docs, the deed, all in my name, no one else's. I included my community college diploma and emails from back then where I asked for help with books and was told, "The family is prioritizing Melissa's tuition right now." Then came the big moment. The judge asked, "Melissa, what's your current occupation?" She stammered, "I'm in a transitional phase, focusing on developing my personal art." The judge raised an eyebrow. "Are you currently employed?" Before Melissa could answer, my mum jumped in. "She's an artist, a digital content creator." The judge, totally unbothered, asked again, slowly, "Is she generating any income?" That's when my aunt snapped. She jumped up and shouted, "Income doesn't define a person's worth. She deserves that house more than he does." I didn't say a word. I just sat there, watching the people I used to call family unravel in public. They were completely losing it, over something they didn't earn and never supported. The judge warned my aunt to keep quiet, then turned to Melissa and asked, "What kind of digital content do you produce?" Melissa lit up. "I'm a TikTok dancer and lifestyle influencer." The judge nodded. "And how much income have you made from that?" Melissa replied, "I'm still building my brand. These things take time." The judge looked unimpressed, then said, "Let me get this straight. You expect your son, who worked and saved for years, to give up his home to your daughter, who has no job, no income, and no clear plan to support herself, and you want him to keep paying the mortgage?" Before their lawyer could say a word, the judge cut in. "I've heard enough. I'll issue my ruling in writing within the week." 5 days later, I got the letter. Update 3. 1 week after court. The case? Dismissed. The judge's exact words, "This case has no legal merit whatsoever." But honestly, the real chaos didn't even happen inside the courtroom. It started after. My aunt completely lost it outside. She screamed at me, said I was dead to the family, and that I'd die alone in that house. Melissa dropped to her knees right there on the courthouse steps, sobbing and shouting, "You stole my future." Then my mum looked me in the eye and told me I wasn't her son anymore. My dad said I'd destroyed the family. When I got home, I checked my security cams. I'd installed them right after the court papers were served, and saw some weird activity. One clip showed Melissa creeping up to my car, glancing around nervously, then backing off without doing anything. Another showed my aunt walking right up my driveway with a can of spray paint. She turned around as soon as the motion lights kicked on. I filed a police report that night and handed in the footage, and then social media exploded. Melissa launched a GoFundMe called Help Me Buy a Home After My Brother Stole My Future. The description accused me of manipulating the court system and turning my back on family values. It got flagged by a bunch of people, and GoFundMe eventually put it under review for false claims. My mum took to local Facebook groups to post about my betrayal. Some group admins actually deleted her posts for harassment. My aunt posted some not-so-subtle threats online too, but quickly deleted them when people started calling her out. I documented every single thing and filed for a restraining order. Takes time to go through, but I wasn't playing around anymore. Then things exploded in the family group chat. One of my cousins, who's never liked Melissa, replied to my mum's pity post with, "Wait, you didn't pay for Melissa. You dropped $200K on her tuition. Meanwhile, I worked graveyard shifts to get through community college. Now you want his house too." That lit the match. Another cousin chimed in. "Remember when I asked for $200 for textbooks and you bought Melissa a MacBook instead?" Someone else added, "Didn't her graduation party cost like 15 grand? I didn't even get dinner." And then my grandfather entered the chat like a boss. "You two are a disgrace as parents. He made it on his own, in spite of you, not because of you." Update 4. 3 months after court. I was ready to move on, but after the attempted property vandalism, I took further steps. I filed another police report and submitted the footage. Still being investigated. Got a temporary restraining order, now approved. Sent out a formal cease and desist along with a takedown notice for the fraudulent GoFundMe. I'm keeping detailed records in case I go the civil route. Consequences have started landing. My aunt got slapped with a formal warning at her job for using her work email to harass me. Melissa's GoFundMe got shut down for violating terms. My parents? People at their church are giving them the side eye. Small towns talk, and word travels fast. Family dynamics have seriously shifted. About half the family is in my corner now. A quarter is staying quiet, and the rest still think I should have just handed over the house to keep the peace. Final update, 6 months later. My life's completely different now. Status, my parents still aren't speaking to me. Final judgment, my aunt violated the temporary restraining order, so now it's permanent. Melissa, she's working at Starbucks, posting complaints about it on Instagram like she's some kind of victim. As for me, I got promoted at work, upgraded my home security system, still living in my house, doing well, and the best part, I adopted a dog. Her name's Luna, a German Shepherd mix from the local shelter. She's a sweetheart. I've started hosting game nights with friends, and honestly, it feels amazing to be around people who don't judge your every move. Sometimes, my mum texts me asking for money, says they're struggling. I don't reply. My dad sent an email. "When will you forgive us? Family should stick together." I left that one unread too. The real win? Grandpa comes over every Sunday now. We eat dinner, and he teaches me woodworking out in the garage. Turns out he'd wanted to spend time with me for years, but my parents kept making excuses to keep us apart. Last week he looked at me and said, "I'm proud of you, son. You stood up for yourself." And to everyone still wondering, did my parents seriously think they could sue their grown son for a house he paid for himself? Did Melissa really believe she deserved it just because life got hard after college? And do they still go around blaming me for tearing the family apart? Probably. Some people just can't take accountability. Anyway, thanks for following this whole family disaster. I'm gonna go relax with Luna, enjoy my house, and finally breathe in some peace.